You are listening to the IFH Podcast Network. For more amazing filmmaking and screenwriting podcasts, just go to ifhpodcastnetwork.com.
All right, welcome to the Successful Screenwriter Podcast, where we are dedicated to anything and everything screenwriting. Here we interview successful screenwriters and filmmakers to discover just what it takes to make it in the industry. Welcome to the podcast. We have on a very special guest, the legend himself, Kevin Sorbo. Kevin, thank you for joining us.
Good to be here. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I wanted to reach out to an established actor like yourself to really kind of find out what draws talent into a script, like what grabs you particularly. And I was wondering if we could just kind of pick your brain for a little bit about that.
You know, I mean, it's a good question, but it's kind of a hard question to answer because I think it's a preference thing for any actor. I think any script they get, I get a lot of scripts. I give scripts 20 pages. You know, my likes shift and change as well. I mean, I tend to like movies that have got a good message in there, maybe. I mean, I've done over 60 movies, and there's probably a dozen I wish I didn't do. But, you know, you don't go into it thinking this movie's going to suck, you know.
Right.
It could have been the acting, it could have been the writing, it could have been the editing, it could have been, I mean, there's a number of things that ultimately can make a movie bad. But, you know, it's hard to say. I certainly like the sci-fi world. I like the fantasy world. I like movies that got a good positive message.
Yeah.
You know, it's got a good moral base to it. It doesn't have to be like a faith-based movie. It's just something that's got something more. I think there's so much stuff coming out of Hollywood right now through cable and through the networks that just, to me, just promotes so much hate and anger. And we have enough of that going on in the real lives right now. So I want to escape all this hate and anger world we're living right now. And I want to get to a place where people go, you know what? There is some hope out there. You know? There's a better place to go than what we have right now.
No, I think you're right. And I think the film industry is going to go there. I think we were kind of obsessed with the world destroying stuff until the world started to get destroyed. And I think now we're going to start leaning into more positive outlook films that make you feel good, comedies, romantic stuff.
And you look at Hollywood, you take World War II, for instance, with all that going on. Hollywood was doing a lot of song and dance stuff. They were doing a lot of stuff that, you know, that had more of a positive message and a hopeful message in it. Yeah.
And I think you're going to see definitely see a shift. And you've done a lot of stuff like that. I know in Andromeda had some great writing on it, and Hercules, of course, is a classic. So it's good to see that that type of writing kind of grabs you. Are you looking at characters per se when you're reading a script? Are you looking for a character that has a bit more of a wit or clever dialogue, or just really layered that has depth to them?
I like the comedic level. I mean, on Hercules and Andromeda, I had lived a lot. It wasn't a piss to writers.
Oh, really?
There were a lot of things that, you know, the writers for Hercules, you know, we're in New Zealand. They were in Los Angeles, so they're 9,000 miles away. So we couldn't. I kept an open dialogue with them all the time because I would always stay 2 scripts ahead of what we were filming, so I could read ahead of time. I could call and ask questions about stuff. Yeah. If things didn't make sense to me, I always asked for clarification, and then I would say, "Hey, it's not changing what you're saying, but what if I said this instead?" I mean, because I get everybody gets touchy about stuff, and I don't want to step on people's toes. But when we had lived on Hercules, a lot of times it would be in places where they could certainly edit it out. Yeah. There's a line that I did that just got like 20 million hits where I yelled out "disappointed." And a lot of people think the writers had written me to say another line with parentheses around it in a disappointed way. Yeah. Now, here's what happened. The character was a sovereign who was an alter ego of Hercules from like a bilateral universe. And I end up in Hercules' world, and I'm sitting there. I got the goatee and the mustache going. Yeah. And I go, wait a minute, this isn't my world. And for whatever reasons, Kevin Kline and A Fish Called Wanda popped into my head. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
Yeah.
I love it. And I just went, disappointed. I just yelled it out. And they kept it in there, and it's become like a massive meme, which is hilarious.
That's fantastic.
I've met people at Comic-Cons that have it on their iPhones when like their wife or girlfriend calls. Disappointed their ring.
Oh, that's great. Oh, man. I mean, yeah, to break into pop culture like that, it's just Absolutely amazing. And to know that you ad-libbed that in there and that you weren't actually like reading the parenthetical. See, I had no idea. this is great to get kind of like tidbits like this.
Well, I get that like every Comic-Con I go to, and you do the Q&As, that you got hundreds of fans, and that question is always asked. And
yeah.
I love the story. I don't get tired of answering. I think
it's well, I mean, come on, man. You're obviously a pop culture icon, and then on top of that, you break into the meme world. I mean, that's like a 2-for-1. Who can say that, really? So, with the dialogue, then, do you find working with the writers, can it be difficult? Do they not want you to change an ad lib, or are they pretty good with it?
They're pretty good with it. I know I could tell that the writers on Hercules and Andromeda all started sort of saying, I'll bet Sorbo will say this. I could see they would throw things in. Because there was a couple things in Andromeda that, every act out is usually, if it's not comedic, it's like 400 ships have just come in front of my ship.
Right, yeah.
And I just started saying two things. I would say, I go, it's never easy. Or is it great? Something. And they start putting that in those tag outs when you go into commercials. So, just things happen. If the writers aren't on set during rehearsal, that you didn't really think that were going to happen when you read it. So you get on the set and you're blocking a scene, going, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we said something like this? Because look, you got that prop there. Yeah. And so these things would kind of work in. And it got to a point that, as long as it didn't change the idea, they were fine with it. Because, to me, it was like, if you're on the set, I think the one guy that was real picky about his writing was Stephen Cannell. When I did a guest spot on The Commish.
Okay.
And before he passed away, he had skin cancer and he died from it. I was going to do his next series. I was so bummed out.
Yeah.
And it was called The Other Woman. And it was another detective. And I lived on a boat in the marina. And the boat was titled The Other Woman.
Oh.
And so I had a great twist to it. And I was so depressed. I had wonderful meetings with him. Here's a guy that Beretta and Rockford Files. Yep. I was excited to work with him, and he passed away. But I did an episode on The Commish. I can't remember. I flipped the words in one sentence. Yeah. And the set just went, wait. Continuity said, he said it this way. They go, call Steve and see if it's okay. And I said, well, it means the same. I said, it means the same thing. And they said, yeah, well, we better call him. I said, well, why call him in LA? We're shooting in Vancouver. Why didn't I just run it, do it again? It just, I didn't change it on purpose. It just came out that way. I'll say it the way it's written. They shut down the set for half an hour trying to reach him.
Wow.
I thought that was the stupidest thing. And then they come back, Stephen wants you to say it was written. I said, well, it 30 minutes.
You could have just done another take.
When I direct, I go quick. I walk up to first-time directors, like new directors, I think you got to work 14-hour days. Mm-hmm. And I'll whisper in the ear, say, Clint Eastwood does Academy Award-winning movies and he shoots 8-hour days. Just saying.
Yeah. And were you pulling in like 14-hour days when you're on shows like
on Hercules? Yeah. Hercules was 12 to 14 every day for me. Then another hour and a half lifting weights.
Wow.
A very typical day, door to door for me, was anywhere from 16 to 18 hours a day.
And so when it comes down to things like that, you probably don't want a ton of dialogue that you have to kind of memorize, do you? You probably want to just have it kind of clean.
If it writes well from my brain, if it flows, I can memorize pretty quickly.
Okay.
If it on Andromeda, Lexa Doig as Andromeda, she got all the tough tech dialogue. So we got
Technobabble.
We have some great outtakes of her because she's like a trucker with. If I can say that. When she made a mistake, she would just F this, and she'd go crazy.
Wow.
And, hilarious.
Yeah.
But I don't like, if I flub or anybody flubs, I don't want to cut. I just say, go back, go, boom, and then get back into it. Editing will take care of that, because a lot of times when you cut, then the DP comes in and goes, I got to relay a little bit. Then 15
Oh, no. Yeah.
To me, you lose that spontaneity and that energy. So every time I screw up a line, I'll just say, I got just back up. But then I'll just get back to the first position, just come walking in again.
Yep. Just run it again.
To me, it just keeps energy going much better than cutting down. And then everybody just goes to the craft service and eats more crap.
For free. Yeah, that's the best part. So from what I try and if I have an actor and I'm working with them on a script, I try and write towards their voice. And it sounds like what the approach you take is you're going to put your voice in it no matter what. Have you worked with a writer that has tried to work towards your voice to kind of make your job easier, or do you just kind of get in there?
Certainly.
Yeah.
No, I've worked with writers. I've got 2 scripts that just came to me now, and they said, when I wrote this with you in mind. And I probably get like 20 of those a year. I can't look at everything. You know, I got my own production company, Sorbo Family Film Studios. I probably read over 500 scripts through the years that I've whittled down to about 25 that I want to do. Wow. I just did my most recent one called Miracle in East Texas. Nice. And I directed it as well. We shot up in Canada. It's a true story set in 1930. And, you know, the hardest thing, you know, I do movies in the $3 to $4 million range. That's catering on Pirates of the Caribbean, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Avatar or something. So people think that's a lot of money. It's so hard to raise even that kind of money, and yet those movies in that budget range have a heck of a lot better chance of getting the money back for the investors.
Right.
Than even a $15 or $20 million movie. Because you look at a $20 million movie, if they have a proper P&A budget to it, they got to make 50 or 60 million in box office just to break even.
I think you're going to see a lot more of these 3 and 4 million films coming out and kind of flipping them and hopefully keeping the quality up. But so what attracted you to that script then? The Miracle.
Great story, great writer. Dan Gordon wrote it. Dan Gordon's Academy-nominated writer for The Hurricane. He wrote that for Denzel Washington.
Okay.
He wrote Whiter, Kevin Costner. He wrote 60 episodes in Highway to Heaven for Michael Landon. He was the showrunner.
Wow. Yeah.
And he rewrote the script my wife wrote that I did a movie called Let There Be Light. It was in theaters a couple of years ago.
Okay.
We shot it for about $2.3 million, and theatrical made $7.5 million with very, very little money to P&A money on it.
Wow.
We had Sony want to come in and get it to 2,000 screens, and my only investor, who's new to the business, I said, "What does that mean to me?" And I go, "Well, their last money in, their first money out." And he said, "No." And I went, "No, you don't understand."
Oh man,
that movie, if he would have allowed me to do that, he gets it now a year and a half later. Yeah. But I told him, I said, just take the call, let them talk to you.
Right.
If he allowed me to do that, that we could have got to 2,000 screens. That little $2.3 million movie would have made 25, 30 million theaters.
Easy.
No doubt in my mind.
Yeah, easy.
We got a great deal from Amazon and market, but still did very well. And it was a great story. It was I like this. We had 10 film festivals with Miracle in East Texas. It was going to open in theaters this summer. Then COVID killed everything for everybody.
Yeah.
But it won everything from best romantic comedy to best faith-based film to best judges film, best audience favorite. So it won. It was like a Green Book or Blindside type of movie where everybody
everybody liked it.
The non-faiths, all whatever you believed in, would just enjoy the movie. It was a good movie.
Fantastic.
And I love the fact it was it's a true story set in 1930 about 2 con men that would woo widows out of their money on fake oil wells. In Texas. Well, they actually strike oil in Kilgore, Texas. And they end up going to jail because everywhere they went to con these widows, they would sell 500% of the shares.
Okay.
So they was just a big con game. But Lou Gossett Jr.'s in it. He's amazing. John Ratzenberger plays the con man with me. Tyler Mane plays a big lead role, and he's Sabretooth in the X-Men movies. He's also a WWF guy as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And just we shot up in Calgary in the same location where they shot Unforgiven with Clint Eastwood, where they shot Lonesome Dove, where they shot Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, it was a great location. It was awesome.
So you're looking at scripts more than just as an actor would, like more than just the character, because you're coming from it from a director's perspective, and it even sounds like you're coming at it from a producer's perspective as well. Is that right?
I'm doing more of that now. Yeah, I started directing back on Hercules actually. Just
oh, really?
Yeah, I've been DJing now for 25 years, been SAG for 35 years now. So I loved the series down there. I missed New Zealand. It was fantastic. It was a great chapter of my life. I worked with wonderful people.
Yeah.
Peter Jackson ended up taking most of my crew for Lord of the Rings.
Is that right?
But yeah, John Mahaffey went on to direct a lot of second unit. I think the most recent one he did was Aquaman, but he did second unit Spider-Man and James Bond and all that. Peter McCaffrey was he's ranked in the top 2 Steadicam operators in the world. Nyla Dixon, our wardrobe, won an Academy Award for Lord of the Rings. I mean, we had a great talent pool down there.
This podcast is brought to you by the Script Summit Screenplay Contest, listed as a top 20 screenwriting contest in the world. There you can enjoy seminars taught by experts, networking events, Q&A panels, scene table reads of winning scripts, a huge cash prize, and even the chance to win a contract with a Hollywood talent manager. Visit our site at scriptsummit.com. Now let's get back to our show. Yeah, it sounds like it was a big launching pad for a lot of big careers.
No question. They had nothing like that before we came down. And we had 2 spin-off shows. We spun off my series Xena in season 3 and Young Hercules in season 5.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't remember who played that role because it only lasted 2 seasons. You know who that was?
No, man, you've got me.
Who played Hercules? Me, as a teenager, a little skinny, scrawny 20-year-old named Ryan Gosling.
Oh, how about that? Oh, my goodness. I would not have caught that. Oh, that's fantastic.
Pretty funny.
Well, I always think about Hercules, and I think about the character traits you brought to him. He was very relatable. Here he was the god. But like even with the first kind of scene where he like knocks out a giant or something like that, and then you have this kind of wit about you and you embody that character. And I can see how like sitting down and writing that, you're hoping that the talent nails it, but you got it. And you brought that kind of charisma to the character, but still keeping him grounded. And that's not an easy thing to do, but you're able to kind of encompass that in the roles that you take on. I think it's fantastic.
Well, thank you. I mean, the biggest input I think I had, we did 5 2-hour movies before it became 1-hour series. So we shot it was a full year for the 5 movies.
Yeah.
And I think there were 10-week shoots for all of them. And Anthony Quinn played Zeus. So I got a whole year working with a class like Anthony Quinn. Yeah. But the very first movie, Hercules and the Amazon Women, there was a little bit of to me it just played almost too real. I don't want to say too, I can't think of the word I want to say, but I called up Sam Raimi, who was our exec producer.
Right.
And I said, Sam, you're known for your campiness. You're known for your humor. I love humor. I'm a smart ass. I got 3 brothers, so I grew up all being sarcastic with each other.
Right.
And my buddies back home in Minnesota. So I said, the biggest thing is we don't want people to laugh at us. We want people to laugh with us. And I think that was something that fans loved about the show, because I get it every Comic-Con I go to, I'm signing autographs. I get people saying, you guys look like you had so much fun doing that show, and we did. And I really wish at that time, before all the reality TV kicked in, that we filmed all the behind-the-scenes stuff, like all the rehearsals and all that, and let fans just release that as a DVD. People would have got a kick out of our rehearsals, and a kick how funny my crew was. We had laughs every day, and I know sometimes it seems times go so slow, then go so fast. Well, those 7 years just flew by, and it was an amazing chapter in my life, like I said, and I had just so much fun doing that. And I think that makes all the difference in the world, is when you're able to have fun with it. And I love the fact that they wrote dramatic episodes and dramatic moments.
They did.
But they always put in good humor. The fight scenes were always really well choreographed. I mean, our stunt guys, one of them started as a 19-year-old stunt guy, Ben Cook, and now he's Daniel Craig's body double stunts in all of the James Bond movies.
That's amazing.
But it was so much fun. And Peter Bell, who was our stunt choreographer, would let me, because we rehearse fights every day. We shot 3 fights every episode, but the other 7 days we're on set, we're rehearsing off the camera, even though it's not fun with all the stunt guys. Then I got to run in and do a heavy romantic scene, then run back out and do another rehearsal. But I love the fact that I say, Peter, he'd show me, okay, and you're going to kick this guy's sword, and it's going to go flying. I go, hey, you do a second unit shot of the sword going through the air as he's getting back up again, and it hits him and knocks him back in the cow pie. We're going, so that became sort of a normal thing to constantly make funny things out of the fight scenes too.
So awesome. No, it's good. Yeah, I love the balance of comedy and action and drama, and I think that's really, I think that's the good formula to keep an audience engaged, especially in a script. Scripts, if they're one tone, they get really boring. You don't want to read it anymore. You kind of keep investing in different types of conflict like that.
You got something good. When our season 3, we released Xena, at the same time, another female show came out called Sheena, and Conan, and Robin Hood, and Tarzan, and Sinbad. All these shows tried to copy what we had going. But we passed Baywatch that same year in season 3 as the most watched show in the world in 176 countries. And
that's crazy, because Baywatch was huge. I mean, everybody watched that show. You know what?
We had a lot of cleavage on my show too. We had a lot of cleavage on the show too.
Yeah.
We call it Baywatch BC.
People were watching it for the storylines. All right. Yeah. No, I don't want to take too much of your time away here, but I wanted to overall, what you're looking for in a script, you're looking for a story that grabs you. You're looking for a character that's relatable. You like a little bit of wit. What else? What kind of tips could you give a writer out there that is trying and grab talent, whether it's through packaging or querying, anything like that?
Well, I'm not a writer. I wrote one episode of Hercules. I got to direct it. It was brutal. I God bless you writers.
Thank you.
It's not an easy thing to do. Just look at an open, a blank piece of paper or a blank, computer screen, just start going. But I think writers, I think they should write what interests them. There's always going to be somebody else interested, but I think the most important thing is once your script is done, because a lot of times, you guys are writing, it's 3 a.m, you're doing your own thing, and it's just you and your cubby hole, wherever you're in.
Our cave.
Once it's done, I think it's important that you find a group of actors to read it out loud.
Yeah. A table
read
reading.
It out loud so you hear the voice from other people and how they're reading as well. I think that's where a lot of holes, so to speak, you can find. I'm good. I'm good at looking at each scene and pointing out this is what's missing, or this is what needs to be taken out. As opposed to some people just look at the whole script and say 1, 2, 3. I'm more of a microscopic guy.
Yeah, you kind of zone in on it.
I'm very good. I know you rarely shoot anything in order, but I'm very good at making notes. I need the script. I don't mind reading the first draft off a computer, but I need the script. I need to make notes. I need to write things, because when I go in to do a scene, I'll look at the previous scene that I may have shot 10 days ago and go, boom, this is where my mindset is right now. Getting the old actor thing. If I'm, because most scenes for an actor are really broken down into two categories. It's either a power scene or a love scene.
Interesting.
A love scene can be, you're just trying to get something from somebody, but a power scene to me, is just a whole different play, and it's about taking control. And I just got an audition scene here right now. They want me to audition for The Boys.
My God! Break a leg.
What's interesting if I get the role, because the main scenes I have are with Carl Urban, who started on Hercules.
Oh yeah! Oh my goodness!
Yeah, Carl started on Hercules and doing some Xena episodes, and he got a nice little part on Lord of the Rings, and that sort of launched his career. But I bump in about once or twice a year at different places.
That's so cool, man. Well, I hope it goes well, and I have no doubt that you'll land a gig like that. You're pretty amazing. So what do you got going on right now? I know you talked about Miracle, but I think you've got some docs coming out, don't you?
I got the document that's out right now called Before the Wrath. I think people should check it out. It's a very interesting look at the Book of Revelation. You don't have to be, atheist and agnostic. You can be a believer. It's just, if I had $1 billion to make a movie of Revelation, it'd be an amazing book. Because if you've never read that chapter in the Bible, oh my God, the creatures in there, the special effects, it would scare the hell out of you. But that's out right now. It's the #1 documentary on Amazon.
Cool.
And it's a very good, very interesting. Then I've got one coming out on September 24th, next Thursday, and that one's called Climate Hustle 2. And it's a flip side look at climate change. I'm just a narrator of it. They brought me in a narrator because apparently they like my voice. But it's interesting, because I've heard most of the time all you hear is the one side of the issue.
Right.
I like both sides of the issue. I'll watch the BBC. I'll watch CNN. I'll watch Fox. I watch everything, because to me it's like it's interesting. All these news stations have different points of view. So
it's true.
You decide what you want to believe.
Yeah. So. When I was in London, I was watching the BBC, and I was like, well, this is a completely different take on the news.
I know. Completely different.
It's really
and
true.
Then I've got, I just told you Miracle in East Texas.
Right.
I've got another movie coming out called The Mustard Seed. It's about a girl who's got cancer. It's pretty heavy-handed. It's an interesting script. I shot it with Peter Coyote and Mira Sorvino.
Okay.
And I just finished shooting 8 episodes of a comedy I did 2 years ago, the pilot. And I picked it up, and I just got back. I live in Florida now. I left California almost 2 years ago, but we shot 8 episodes. It's called The Potwins. It's sort of like Last Man Standing, Family Ties. And Barry Bostwick, if people remember Barry, he's awesome. He was in Spin City, the Mayor, with Michael J. Fox.
Oh, yeah.
And he plays my hippie, pot-smoking father. It's pretty funny.
Oh, that's good. Well, I'm glad that you're not in California right now, considering it's on fire.
You know what? I was going to leave years ago. I mean, like I said, 64 movies after I finished Andromeda. and I would say 55 were shot in Texas or further east. And I looked at my wife and I said, why are we dealing with the traffic, the fires, the taxes, the craziness of that state? I said, I don't need to be here. So I just saved 13.5% of every dollar by moving here.
No, I think you got to do what you got to do. There's been a mass exodus from California, actually. And,
200 people a day out of LA County alone. For the last
is that right? Wow. That is something. Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, I think you're probably one of the hardest working guys in Hollywood right now. Not in Hollywood. You're definitely one of the hardest working actors in Florida.
I make it busy, man. I just funded my next movie. We start filming in November, December, and I'm going to be in the Reagan movie. Dennis Quaid is playing Reagan. I shoot my parts in Oklahoma this coming October. So it's just called Reagan.
Awesome. Really looking forward to seeing that one. Kevin, I really appreciate you being on the show today. Thanks for coming on.
All blessed, man. Take care.
All right. Take it easy.
All right.